Welcome to our new video. I'm Arvin.
And I'm Megan, and together we're Arvin and Megan Cree. Today we're going to be talking about the basics of strawberries, how to keep them healthy and happy in your yard. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the types of strawberries.
In our garden, we have everbearing strawberries, which produce 2 to 3 harvests throughout the year. One in early summer, and then early fall, typically, and then a small one in between, like little random ones that you see right now. We already had our first strawberry harvest, and there's just, everbearing types of strawberries if you get those from the garden center or start them from seed. You can expect to get multiple harvests throughout a season. The other choice that you can get are June-bearing strawberries, where, as the name goes, you can expect one large harvest during June, and after that harvest, the strawberries will spend most of their energy, or all the rest of their energy, sending out runners, kind of like the ones that are over here. And I guess for everbearings, they just send runners whenever. The next topic that we have are the growing conditions for strawberries. They would do best in full sunlight, a well-draining, nutrient-rich soil. So one of the next topics we want to do is planting location. You'll see strawberries growing in containers like these in our greenhouse, or in our beds, like we kind of have earlier in the video. We have it set up in a mound structure. There's a lot of there's some people that like to do it in containers, but hanging containers, that's a pretty popular one in garden centers when you go look for those. And there's also more specialized stuff like towers.
Yeah, I feel like towers would be really cool to get because I don't know. I've always wanted towers. That'd be neat thing to try out, right?
What I meant by vertical towers is they're basically containers, but they're kind of like custom designed to like stack on top of each other, and then the strawberries would come out the sides, sometimes like in a nice pretty pattern going around the tower. It does look visually appealing. It lets you stack more plants in a smaller area, square footage, I guess, for those of you that have very strict size constraints. Growing vertically takes advantage of your vertical space. One of the next things we want to talk about is watering. As you see here, we have our strawberry beds mulched. This serves two purposes. It's one for moisture retention for when you do water, and the other is to keep the berries off the ground because they're more likely to go bad or rot if they're touching the dirt. And also in terms of watering, since they are producing fruit and quite a bit of it, they do prefer a consistent watering schedule. Yeah, you don't want them to go through periods of not having enough water. So we have just like typical plant care, you do have to prune your strawberries. No one likes to look at dead or dying leaves, so you can prune these off, kind of like this one. Probably not going to fare well, and you could dedicate your plant's energy and nutrients to healthier leaves. Other things to prune are probably like stuff like, there was probably a berry or a runner attached to this. You could trim off the rest of the stem here, just to clean it up. It is supporting this little useless strand, right? It's not very productive. Little things like that. And I guess if we could pull this aside, this was a fruiting cluster at some point that earlier in the season, or maybe even last year if you didn't prune it for that long, you could clean those up too. Those are the type of things you should look for your strawberry plant. Keep them nice and healthy, aesthetically pleasing. The next topic we want to talk about is the production of strawberry plants. As they get older, they will produce more. The type of strawberries you would get at a store might be first year strawberries. Typical advice for first years is to not let them blossom or not let them send off runners so that they establish themselves in your beds. So a lot of common advice would be that your second year is when you would expect your bigger harvest, and subsequent years get bigger if you allow your plants to grow. I don't know if Megan wants to show you what a new baby plant looks like. We could say this is like year 0. It would look something like this. Year 1, like this. You could even see that this is already blossoming. We would actually cut the blossoms off to let this plant dedicate some energy into its roots, expanding its leaves, possibly getting a second crown something like these. If you could see here, this one has like 4 little crowns. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is an older plant. It's probably a year 2 plant even, and having multiple crowns on one little established plant will produce more berries for you during that year. Strawberry plants do last 3 to 4 years, so your second and third and fourth year, expect your best harvest, and then at that point or during those years you should consider taking the runners that they do send out and getting those established so that you keep your garden beds full with strawberries from year to year. We do have a video on how to propagate your strawberries. We have a lot of strawberries that are in pots right now, and if you would like to know how to transfer your runners into pots, and then please check out our other video. Just a suggestion.
Okay. So the sun's coming out a little bit right now, but I wanted to talk about companion planting and add that to the video. We've got garlic chives over here, and they're a really good addition to your strawberry patch. Strawberries really like onions and garlic and any sort of chives. They're also a big fan of lettuces or beans, so we've got some lettuce back here. You can kind of see this little trellis we've got here. This one has it had some pole beans and some bush beans kind of down at the bottom. The things you want to avoid though when it comes to planting near strawberries is brassicas, so that's kale, broccoli, and then some other things are fennel and kohlrabi, and those are unavoid, so you don't want to plant those in there. Yeah, we'll come in the greenhouse to do the outro because the sun's kind of coming out now. Right near the strawberry plant.
Strawberry. And that was all the stuff we want to talk about strawberries today.
Yeah, we hope you liked the video. We post a lot on Instagram, so if you wanted to check out our Instagram page and follow us there, I'll leave some socials. I'll leave some socials in the description, and take care. Bye.